Hello, hello. I want to make sure I'm live. And yes, it looks like I'm live. Okay, hello everyone. This is a pop-up surprise live stream. Okay, let me know that you can hear me. If you're watching a replay, press replay. But y'all, I have to say this. I have to say this. It is extremely sad and disappointing. I just had a consultation with someone, and honey, your favorite IG stylist, your favorite ones with a lot of followers. This is not the first, second, third, nor fourth time that I've either had to directly clean up work or someone in our network has, and clients are sad, semi depressed, very frustrated. And I wanted to do this PSA to one, be a voice for all those clients or potential clients, scorned clients, clients that feel like they want to have their voice have a louder platform because so many people are experiencing similar things. And I want to keep us as professionals and stylists on our toes because we are dealing with human beings that have feelings, and they will go to someone or many different people, and they will say the name of your business, and they will say what you've done or what you didn't do. And you may be the third or fourth person. They're going around trying to find someone to help them address a specific issue. So hello everyone. Hi, treasured locks and tips. This is a pop-up live. I'm not going to stay on too long, but this has been on my heart. I had a consultation this morning, and I want y'all to come in. I want to tell y'all about this. And I particularly want to make sure I'm streaming on IG because I know some of these particular stylists tend to listen. I got a lot to say. Please don't just look at the number of followers or think that that is enough. Hold on, y'all, cause y'all gonna have to give me a minute phone to tell and say what I need to say. Because I don't know. And if y'all agree and y'all are doing these consultations too, please share. But I think it's about time that we start speaking up louder and louder about the unfair, the damaging work, unfair treatment. Um, it seems like a money grab for a lot of people. And these are people that sometimes have a lot of following on Instagram or, they claim to know how to do things. And I looked at the work of this particular consult and then how she described the person doing what they were doing. And I said, it was pretty evident to me that they really didn't truly know how to do that reattachment or that advanced repair. And it was locks popped off. She held up a pile of locks. So I'm gonna rewind this story. Let me just check to make sure that I am streaming. Um, I don't know how to get this off the thing so I could see if anybody has even comments on IG because I want to. Yeah, I don't know how to see it on here, but it's all right because I put go live. I'm on here. Okay, I should be able to see any comments that y'all have. If y'all can agree. So I had a consultation with someone. She booked a while back. Her story is similar to a few other people. I wasn't quite sure because the notes weren't very clear when she booked. So I asked her to clarify, what exactly she wanted. She already had locks in her hair. But, and y'all know I'm based out of New York City area, and this particular salon has been mentioned to me so many times. Came after me. I went and then started doing some of the services that I had created or started doing, but never got trained with us. But there's an overlap. So she didn't have to sit and ask, but the first thing was she originally got a sister locks installation. And apparently they did the original sister lock grading was big in the back, small in the front. But by the time she went to a different salon because her loctician stopped doing hair, went to a different salon. They said, oh no, it's too big back here. We're going to separate these, make them small, and then decided to do a reverse for some type of rotation. Those who know I don't do that. Multiple rotations back and forth because of the impact it has on the quality of the lock. If a loctician is changing a rotation or introducing a rotation pattern or anything like that, they need to explain why they're doing it, and it needs to make sense. So going in a reverse direction, number one, on an energetic and a level and a spiritual level, people tend to do twisting and palm rolling and everything in one direction, which, depending on how deep you want to go with it, does go in alignment with how a spiral spirals, how our actual curls spiral, and then we just go conducive to the energy of that. Tend to do very well. If we go the opposite direction, it's going opposite that. And might not be the conversation that resonates with some people, but some people will get what I'm saying. But even then, why would you reverse the direction and keep the same point rotation? Basically left her with such drastic weak points in all of her locks that her locks were falling out. Disgusted with the loctician, and the loctician says, it want to give you a tighter tension or something like that. Rationale didn't make any sense. Didn't make sense to me, and didn't make sense to the client. So the client now has consistently popping locks that are popping off. She has a finer grade of hair, which is fine. But then they proceed to try to snatch up the very edges of this fine textured hair, which most of us even have finer hair around the edges, and to pull that into a lock, they start popping off. I couldn't quite see how many popped off until she started going like this. And then I saw nubs, all broken off. This is one of kind of moderately popular, if not very popular. I'm not going to say much more to drop any more hints, but salon that is in the area. And I was very surprised to hear that they were doing that. I guess because she came in and said she has sister locks, maybe they were doing sister lock techniques, but the ones that don't make sense. So that's popping off. She spoke up. Can we then combine them on my edges? I'm okay with that. It seems like they're not strong enough. At this point, she has anxiety. They're popping off left and right. No. I know, they know what they're doing. So the client is trying to advocate for herself just on her basic knowledge. She said, I'm not a professional. I didn't go to school or training for this. So I know that I have a lot of knowledge gaps. But what I am suggesting is something that I felt would make sense. And she's getting rejected. Like, we got it. Well, clearly they don't, because her hair keeps coming out. So if you're a potential client and you have this experience, no, ultimately your hair is yours. I don't care if it's me, God, anybody, well, I don't want to say God, but me or whoever claims authority over a skill. If you feel like your hair is being damaged, or you are uncomfortable and you feel like you don't have a voice as you're sitting in this chair, that is a problem. Now, if I can recommend certain things, I should also be able to back up my rationale for why I recommend we combine these, or why I recommend we do this weird behind rotation. Y'all would never have me say that, but some people might, and they should have a good rationale for it. If you notice your hair is not getting any better, it's progressively getting worse because you go home and you walk the streets in your skin and with your scalp, and you know what your hair feels like. You know what feels too tight. You know what's popping off while you're sitting in the meeting, while you're walking in the supermarket, your locks on the floor. You know what your experience is. So you should have a voice. If anybody claiming to be a professional tells you, dismisses what you say, it's a huge red flag, right? So they can give you advice. Part of my passion, y'all. Yeah, but I said I was gonna speak up about it. Let me go click over here real quick, because sometimes you just have to speak, and don't worry about. I can't worry about what sounds good for y'all. Like what I need, because if you are investing a lot of money and you're constantly investing money in your services, a lot of money, hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, and you're not having a result get better and better, or feeling secure, or feeling like you're being reassured adequately, then I think you need to stop putting money into that, because it becomes quite obvious that your hair care is not a priority, your voice is not a priority, and yeah. So I want to just plug this. I'm gonna tell y'all Monday how to get this book, okay? But there's a whole section of this book, right? My book is called The Microlock Standards, out of the original Microlock Standards. I were created in 2000, tail end of 2008 into 2009. And I felt really important to put into this book some of the ethical and professional practices, because if we want to, the overall goal is for us to make such a positive impact in the industry with microlocks that is healing, that is financially abundant for the locticians, that is opportunities for people, and restorative, etc. And if um, we're doing more damage than good, then there's a problem, right? So this is me. Hold on. Let me tell you some of these notes. Y'all, I'm sorry, my mic was muted. Sorry. Um well, maybe that was good because I was telling you a bunch of things. On Monday, I'm going to formally announce. There's some people that, in our community that we've communicated about certain things regarding the book. I did a soft launch in Atlanta this past weekend, and I'm going to fill y'all in on Monday. It was really great. It was absolutely wonderful experience. It was my first time vending at the World Natural Hair Show, and I think the last time I had been there had been over 10 years ago. So it was good to be there as a vendor and also as an instructor. And anyone who's admitted my class, I know some of you say you watch my YouTube. If you did, you want to comment about it. I think all those who have gave feedback about the class, especially day number 2, we had about 20 something of you guys in the class, and I was just overflown with, overflown. I can't even speak. Overfilled with appreciation for the feedback. That was really nice. So like she was like, I'm so happy you're here, and this is a great class, and that just made me feel good that at least all this talking I'm doing, all this passion, and yeah, no, I don't really like I tell y'all, I don't care about the followers. I don't do it for likes and follows. I do it because I love to do this. I love to talk about this. It lights up my soul to talk about having great quality hair care services. So okay, so back to my book. Microlock Standard, a comprehensive guide to microlocks. It's 16 years overdue. These are the original standards. I've never wavered, ever. If you ever hear anything that looks like my brand talking about some nonsense, like a couple of people have noticed stuff, they were like, that's not what Jessica says. I don't waver. I don't waver on good foundations. I don't do things for fads, because ultimately your hair is not a fad. You want your hair to look beautiful for decades. You got to jump off a fad. But you can do things that are trendy looking or really high, really cute styles. But when it comes to fundamentals, especially if they're not proven, I'm not going to put it into the conversation. Innovation that is proven and it gets great results is different. So the innovations that I created, like microlock extensions and reattachment, I do have a lot to say about that because I saw a lot this weekend. And y'all, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but y'all want to get in our classes and stuff, because even from what I've seen, and I hate to say like this, but we are still giving you the highest quality. I could say that confidently. The highest quality when it comes to any of those arenas, reattachment extensions, because I want hair to look realistic as possible, high quality as possible, and last as long as possible. And so there's certain things we talk about in this book. So I'll do the whole official plug because you're going to be able to get a hard copy and a hard signed copy starting Monday. So we do talk about the history of microlocks, proper microlock techniques in the hair industry, versus other lock techniques, methods, preparing for a micro lock installation, tools, the importance of prevention, common problems to prevent. Then we talk about sustainability, longevity, installation, sizing the grid, maintenance, retightening, maintenance do's and don'ts, hair locking milestones, repair, microlock extensions, preventing problems, tout microlock extension mistakes. We even talked about that in my class, the second class we had on Sunday at the World Natural Hair Show. And there were a lot of people that, it was a professional class, so people that had done that service or wanted to do that service. And we had a really good conversation. And a lot of people, we started talking about the techniques they use, some problems with it, and how to make the techniques better and stronger. And, also referenced, I know I have the client that had her extensions in. She's year 15 years. She started with extensions and had no issues. And so we want to get where we can have not just it's easy, it's where you can discern amongst all this information, you can filter out what makes sense. You'll start to have like or you already add to your foundational knowledge you already have about what creates a solid lock and micro lock extension, which is going to be different from a regular lock extension. And also we talk about, we go into the standards. Then we talk about healthy client relationships and self-care, optimal client and self-care cheat sheet, certification, and continuing education. Oh, professional and personal success in the hair industry and professionalism and ethics, right? So there's a lot of things that I've been saying all my lives, but I wanted to put them all into this book. Purchase this book, you'll get a good, my 10 key tip, no, my key tips to, what is it? Key tips to magnificent microlocks is also in here, which is another book I wrote. I just put it all in this one book. You're trying to become microlock certification. Shaved off my sister's sister locks due to severely damaged from a certain girl. Too many people go through that, and I don't like to put on. And the client say, I don't ask people what's salon. I don't like to get into gossip, but I do have to say, when y'all see those likes and you see certain people focusing on grids and stuff, and I'm trying to get out the sun, and the same salon names keep coming up. I'm going to say the same salon names keep coming up. And I know they came after me. And actually, I've had people work with me and then go work over there. And then everything I do would be done over there. So now I know it's competitive, but I feel like you can't just pop out and say, I can do this without proving yourself. And I worked hard to to try to prove my longevity of my things, not just how many followers I have. Followers don't mean nothing when you're talking about actual quality substance. You're going to have to show that. I don't popularity is not necessarily mean that the quality is good. And you're welcome, Key Goddess, and put your comment up. Speaking on this subject, I will not stop speaking on things. That's part of the social worker in me. I advocate for people. I feel that this field is no different when you're dealing with women who are paying a lot of money, who want a certain type of service. And if you're affected by your hair, this is a conversation we need to have. If you work hard for your money and you expect a professional to tell you, you are leaning on professionals' expertise and guidance, this conversation is relevant. A lot of people want to trust and then they get scorned. And then I could see the sadness in their eyes. I can hear the disappointment. And they're almost like, it's like trauma. I have to reassure that my focus is on preventing that. I wouldn't want to go through that. So I'm going to do everything in my power. And if I cannot do a service, I'm not going to say I can do it, because we're not doing money grabs over here. We're doing quality work. Money comes to you. Do your best. Stay in your lanes that you are very good in. Get the education in the ones that you need to improve in, and keep that. You can have a very good living. You don't have to pretend that you know how to do something. Or if you find that something that you're doing is not working the way you intended to work, take a step back and fit and harness that and fine tune that. Then go back out there and say, okay, now I'm going to offer this service. That's all. Just integrity, just honesty. But I think some things are going to have to happen. I'm not going to speak that into existence, but we are in any industry. Everybody has a right to sue. Everyone has a right to do what they need to do. And I was trying to speak for people. It's just so upsetting. Yeah, we have a whole microlock mastery certification, training and certification program. So let me breathe for a moment because I came in hot. She also said, get off chest, get off chest. And then she had to get that off her chest. Why did I write get off chest? Yeah. Oh, not listening. Not listening to clients. If you're a professional, I'm gonna read just a couple of quick things from the book, okay? Um, okay. Each trust and relationship building. Establishing trust and building relationship with clients are foundational elements in the hair industry. Clients entrust their appearance and self-expression to professionals, expecting not only skillful execution but also attentive care. Addressing client concerns demonstrates a commitment to their needs and fosters a sense of trust. In the context of microlocks, where clients often have deeply personal connections to their hair, this trust becomes even more significant. Okay, each client is unique with individual preferences, concerns, and expectations. So when you address client concerns, it allows for customization and personalization of services. You want to make ensuring that the final result aligns with the client's vision. Okay, so clients do have a vision about how they want to look, and you, as a professional, if you're a professional, you have the knowledge to help execute it based on their particular unique characteristics, right? So, for instance, I came in to my loctician. I said, I want my locks to be so small, right? Like, because I wanted hair, strands of hair or something, my vision. She said, I'm going to do the smallest size for you based on you. Yeah, and that was good to hear because it helped me say she's going to give me what I want as much as I can get it. So she's providing the structure, I'm providing a desire, and we're going to come together and we're going to make a masterpiece based on those things. I've heard other people say, not in our some in our program, some not. Well, they're not active in the program, but they would say, I get the client what they want. So that's why I'm doing, and it'll be a recommended method that we don't recommend. That's why I'm doing a full head of two strand twist on different texture, heat damaged hair. Like, I'm just saying, like all the different textures that we have within our own head to get small micro, tiny, strong micro locks is a recipe for disaster if you're just doing that. We talk about that. So when they said that, I said, do you educate them on why, what, like, I don't even think that was going to be a question I was going to answer properly because they already said I was going to give it to them. They were giving me money. So anybody can just give you money and you can do it? Or will you say, hey, I want to give you the best service. You'll still make money. If you're going to make money, you're going to make money. But don't just see every dollar as, yes, like sometimes that 500,000, whatever you charged, is going to cost you thousands more in the reputation and that person walking around with something that doesn't look like what they intended, to the possible defamation of you. Because this consultation I had this morning, she was not scared to say names. She was saying names and name and name and name. And I'm never going to share, this is confidential between me and that person, but people have always done, they might say, I don't want to say it, they end up saying it because they just feels good for them to say it because it's like, they've been so hurt and they're like, I'm just gonna say it. And then now you keep that name keeps coming up in your head. And now when it comes to who can I refer in this area? And you're like, well, I don't, it's too many people have been saying that name. I don't know if I'm going to feel comfortable referring people there because it's too many people coming back saying they've had this experience. So that's why I wanted to put that into this book. I mean, in addition to technique, there's a whole comprehensive pie to look at. And that quick buck can be completely sabotaged for all your future abundance if your foundation is rocky or non-existent, or if it blows in the wind on based on whatever people tell you. There's a reason why people are professionals. There's a reason why there are parameters and things in place. There's a reason why there's standards for certain outcomes. It's something that people shouldn't take for granted. I think when you stand on solid foundation, you stand for certain things. Becomes attached to your brand, and especially the better they are, the better that reputation for your brand will be. You want, otherwise people might start to think you're just about getting money. I'm this son, man, and I hope that y'all know y'all can get your abundance on being ethical and having integrity, and not being negative or trying to sabotage anybody else. Or that negative energy does not grow positive outcome, or negativity, or poor foundations, or it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm gonna take a sip and read your comment. Yeah. Sorry you had to shave your locks. So many of us are going through this trauma, especially, dang, y'all calling out Brooklyn. It's funny, I started in Brooklyn. No, I didn't get the love. My daughter even said, she's 10. She was like, Mommy, wait, you coined the home micro locks? You definitely don't get the credit you deserve. I said, because a lot of us tend to want to come out as competitors instead of come out as, how can we collaborate and work together? How can we, if someone's doing something I want to do, maybe we can, you know, if they're doing it well, maybe we can work together somehow so that we all could do it well. Or I don't know. We don't think like that in a society. We think like competitors. It keeps us down. People bank on that. They know that we're not going to collectively get to a certain point because we're too busy grabbing dollars and going for likes and popularity instead of really healing some of these things. Hi, Queen Aline. The book is available currently. Do you have to purchase a course? And also, is this an instructional book? Good question on IG. So the book hard copy was available this weekend. I'm going to tell you Monday exact. It's going to be like a full, more formal release. I'm doing a soft launch, so it's like certain people are finding out how to get this hard copy of this book. Was done in Atlanta, and people in the community are able to get certain versions of the book right now, and then it'll go for full release starting on Monday. And I'll let you know, everyone know. So I wanted to do for Atlanta like the launch, but I knew my launch it's gonna be a process. It was like in process, like steps to the launch. So I was like, I got some hard copies, and I want people to have an opportunity to come check us out. And so it was a collective of all these other hair salons, hairstylists. So I thought that was a good place. And then if you're in the community, you've already been contacted. You should have already been contacted about getting how to get your pre-release copy, and then it'll go on Monday. So hope you tune into the live on Monday, but also the email list. If you're on the email list, you'll have all that information sent to you, and then it's gonna go be much more announced. Microlock Master is the place to go to get foundation strong locks. Aw, thank you. The long term, I don't know. I feel locks are a long term style to me. I think locks are beautiful. Locks have been since the beginning of time. People have refined locks on mummies. You find, so it's like this is a hairstyle that's so permanent. And although you can have faux locks, you can get temporary locks. I think they stay in the category of temporary as opposed to trying to do something temporary for long term and it end up having damage, or putting in a poor foundation so that someone has maybe not be happy with their locks for a long period of time. We don't want people to not be happy. You can keep these in forever, so why not be happy with them? You know? 1 year into my brother locks, I'm trying to learn from many people's mistakes. Sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I gotta touch the fire to know if it's hot. I'm that type of person. I could be hard headed, but in my wisdom of my elder years now, in my 40s, I'm learning. Why don't we see been done, some of the mistakes, so that we don't have to repeat them, because they end up taking energy and time. And you just start to realize with wisdom that maybe I could see what problems people dealt with before. And then I'll make sure to not have to go through that same thing. Um, yes. And this is still helpful because I do break down some locking methods for traditional locks, right? Because I noticed that a lot of those methods would just directly transfer to small, or what I could say micro size. And I break down what those methods are and why they are or are not something that is going to work well for the size. And I also break down the size, what I term to be a good size to consider something micro. And then you can also, like you said, have small traditional locks as well if you still like that small look, and why as you get into different size ranges, you have more options and more things to do. So we break that down a little bit more. So it's all in this book. Okay. What if somebody had micro locks and would like to add here? I mean, there's ways to extend locks. There's ways to um, do that. You definitely can. I just think it needs to be done with skill. And for the method that you're maintaining it has to be supportive of that method. You don't want something to be a hindrance to how you have to maintain it long term. Oh my goodness, y'all. So I'm going to get ready to go. I just wanted to say that, um, you know, some of your favorite, I just really hope, I know some people I don't have to say this to because y'all already know, but I can't help but know how human mind works. And some people get very, I'm just going to say this because I've dealt with this, and it was just like, how old are we? There's some pages with a lot of following giving y'all a lot of BS that will jack your hair up. And they tend to look down on my little 4,000 for my secondary backup IG page. Michael Mastery was not my primary page. And tend to think that because there's a smaller following that I'm not as, that I can be talked down to, or, people have a better reputation when they have a lot of followers. And that is almost that's like completely opposite of almost what the reality is. Some of your favorite people, they will never tell you, or they may never know that their clients are coming to us and maybe others with really, really severely damaging results. And when I hear the story, it's not like it's a fluke. It was intentionally done for months and months, ignoring the client's concerns, putting in some rotational methods that make no sense, and really actually made it worse, because right where they did that switch is where those locks started breaking off. And I see she just lifted up and it was 3, then it was 4. So I'm guessing, based on what I saw just in the video consult, 20 broken locks, and I didn't even see the rest of her hair. Her hair otherwise is healthy. Otherwise, looks like she's able to grow hair. She doesn't have bald spots. She doesn't have scalp issues. It is all strictly skill and damage from maintenance and skill. Whatever tools being used, whatever judgment that practitioner is using, whatever shots they're calling about what they're doing with that lock, what they're not looking at, what they're looking at, that is all the reason. Because when we talk about what the client's doing, maintenance and routine, I can't find any other reason. I just can see it. I can see it. And that's why I have a specific reasons why I've never ever bought into all those different rotations. I never saw them to be good. I never saw that as something you needed to do. Now, when you get a little bit larger, you can have a little bit more wiggle room with, I would say, 3 rotation time, but we're not getting into all the other things, that the reverse this and that. I still don't think reversing the direction, going back and forth, does anything other than create this is real squiggly. I've had to fix 4 years. What are your thoughts, Mrs. Locks? I'm asking as many people are thinking, yeah, because you cannot try to force finer hair weaker hair into a strong lock. Especially if it's finer hair, it's not going to be strong enough, and a lot of them just break off or undo, constantly undo. There's a point where you just leave it. You can just leave it. Allow it to, if it's going to grow in, let it grow in and be stronger, and then put a lock in. But you don't want to just slap a lock on anything if it's not going to be strong enough to sustain, really long lock that's going to continuously grow. At some point, um, those locks are breaking off, or they're not staying in. So don't force it. We leave it. And it's okay. So that takes a person being okay with that. I mean, some people are absolutely okay with that. They're like, and I had to learn to be okay, because I used to think I wanted the micro braid look, like every single thing up here. And I was like, wait a minute, that's why my edges my edges popped off so easy before. They're not, the hair strands here are not as strong, sometimes finer than the ones maybe back here. So we don't have to, we can leave them and allow them to want to be, if you have enough hair to pull in to make the base strong, and then just leave it. You're welcome, Zena. Oh no, don't do that. I don't want to share no names in the chat. No, 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 no. It's so silly. I just think I just want people to be discerning, follow your heart, follow your intuition. If something doesn't feel right, please don't let it just be that they have a lot of followers. Please don't. Look for long-term pictures. If they just keep talking about this dang on grid, it's so weird to see. And even that particular seller, before the grid explosion fascination came, they weren't talking about the grid as much either. It was because that's what the trend was doing, and now they jumping on that. But okay, I show pictures from people with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years worth of lots, because that's my audience. They're not going to be sitting here worrying about the grid. Is going to look as flawless as it can be, but they really want really great locks, and so that's where we're going to put a lot of our energy in, making sure we get the clients that are definitely looking for that, because we don't want to give y'all great locks but y'all still worrying about, oh, my grid, oh, but the rest, oh, because you're gonna have something happen in your life with hormones or something where you might have something might be off a little bit, just a tad, and you don't want people to freak out. Should There really is no, when I say the standards of microloans, there really isn't. We're past those days where I can say this is what qualifies a micro lock, but there's some loose definitions of it. If your lock is a certain size, and it probably already can be considered a micro lock. So if you mean as far as how you want to term it, or as far as how you want to maintain it, that's a different conversation. So if you're maintaining it a certain way, maybe you're using the sister lock tools or something, and you want to transition out of that, absolutely can. That's been all my clients when I started. All my transfer clients initially were sister locks, because there was no micro locks. I called them micro locks and they became micro locks, but they still said sister locks. They started out with a sister lock foundation. It's really, I would just say, if you're asking, can you transition out of using the exclusive system and tool that you have with sister locks? You absolutely can. Absolutely can. You're welcome. All right, you guys. So I'm going to go. And I thank y'all for listening to my little rant today. I'm going to go check IG real quick, because I tend to forget to see y'all comments. Where can we get Grid on Lock? On Monday, I'm going to tell you. I'm excited to tell you. If you're already in the community, you've been able to get some things. Yeah, yep. Okay. Make sure I got it. You're welcome. Okay, y'all. So tune in on Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm going to tell you all the deets and all the scoop. All right, y'all have a good rest of your Thursday. See you next week.